Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And in this episode, we will be going further through the game by going through two zones, which is Hilltop Zone and Mystic Cave Zone. Now, Hilltop Zone, what I like about it most is the music. You may have heard in the last episode that I was saying that my favourite song in the game is the next zone coming up. It's the Hilltop Zone music. I just really like it, it suits the level so well, and I just find it a really unusual piece of music in a Sonic game. But still, the one thing we're going to come across actually, which is a new gimmick, are these things. They're like these seesaws. If you've played a game, you know, where you bounce a ball, and then if you go to the other side, you'll be able to bounce super high. So it's kind of a new thing here that we're going to have to follow if we want to get a lot of rings. Because getting 50 rings in this requires a lot of, you know, bouncing on those seesaw-like things with these balls and all that. I mean, it's kind of unusual in the Sonic game, and that's what I like about Sonic 2 the most. He has some really unusual ideas, and in every level, there's just something new all the time. It's really good. The one thing that's annoying, however, on these things is Tails. Sometimes Tails will try to be helpful and jump onto it for you. Only this can result in you not knowing where the ball is because it's already bounced, and with that, you're likely to get hit, so that's not good. But I have 67 rings, almost 69, so how about we acquire the 5th Chaos Emerald? Although, one thing I will say is this, in the special stages, make sure that when you go and come across the later ones that leads to, you know, the other Chaos Emeralds and all that coming up to the 7th one, make sure Tails doesn't get hit too much, because you do realise that his rings also counts towards your total. So if he collects something like 10 rings and gets hit, that's it. You've pretty much lost all them rings because of Tails getting hit. So you've really got to make sure you know that your ally stays safe and all. And again, I swear that's Knuckles' hands. Because, he will be annoying. There is one thing that I could say though, and that's this. You can actually do multiplayer in this game in the special stages, because honestly, one character takes control of Sonic while the other one takes control of Tails, and from there you do co-op and try to work together, which is why in some special stages, you know, there'll be one set of rings going to the left and one going to the right, because that's for the other player to collect. So just make sure you know that if you want to collect all the Chaos Emeralds with a buddy or something. I'm playing it by myself just to show you the pain of playing through the game with Tails miles per hour. Because it is a pain, I tell ya. But I'm still having fun, that's all that matters. I also like how in these special stages they expect you to do like loads of flips and stuff to get Chaos Emeralds. But still. Honestly, this special stage did take a bit of practice because you have to collect 200 rings in order to get the last emerald. You know, in the special stage, not the game or anything. But I've done it with live commentary for some reason, because honestly, this is all live. This isn't post-commentary or anything. I'm trying to have a bit more fun, because honestly, recording Donkey Kong Land 3, it really didn't need to be post-commentary. Same with Sonic Advance 2, but I just thought it would be too difficult to speak while everything's going by really fast. But of course, I was wrong about that. Still. Also, new to Hilltop Zone will be these underground sections. Anytime you spin dash, you'll be able to bury underground and access these new areas. And honestly, the things that we're going to come across here are similar if you've played, like, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 games. You know, in Marble Garden, I think it was? I could be wrong about the name, but I'll put it up as an annotation. There are these, like, sections that involved you going up while the ground slowly rises, so you've got to be quick before you get crushed and all that. We're going to be coming across one in a minute or so, and I may have 50 rings, but I'm not going to use it on the next checkpoint since I like to use it on different zones. Because seriously, if I just, you know, went past every checkpoint and collected 50 rings to access the special stages, I would have all 7 Chaos Emeralds by now. But I chose to give myself a bit of a challenge and do one per zone. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult for me, but I'm up for it. Although from here I'd say that you just spin dash and jump. So that way, we have reached the end. Because what they expect you to do there is, if you don't make it up the top, you have to bury underground, and then make your way all the way up the hill pretty quick. You know, basically make sure that you don't get crushed. Zone 2 will be a bit different, except this time we're going to have more underground sections. and basically it's to add more of a challenge. The next zone, however, Mystic Cave Zone, is quite different for a Sonic level. It's honestly quite creepy. It used to freak me out as a kid and all that. No, I don't mean it used to give me nightmares and all, but, you know, still think, oh, this is weird, never seen this before. It was that sort of reaction, but I'll get onto that later, I reckon. You may notice that throughout the episodes my life counter has changed. That's because I'm doing this. Every time I collect 2 Chaos Emeralds and clear a zone, I use a save state. However, I don't really want to use a save state during gameplay, otherwise it will pop up with that thing on the emulator saying, would you like to save as save state? And, you know, you don't really want to see that. So basically what I'm going to do is play through the levels, and, you know, acquire the Chaos Emeralds in my recordings, and then go through them again, and use the save state just before we enter the next zone, so that I can create a nice transition effect. Good grief, Tails nearly went underground then. That was weird. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that in case you was confused about what's going on. That's pretty much all there is. Before I go this way, actually, I want to do something. Oh, brilliant. I will admit, sometimes when you try to backtrack your way down and all, it is really hard to predict what's below you. Because you saw right there, you know, the thing with the seesaws, I managed to hit one. And the reason why I wanted to come across here is because there's an invincibility TV box, and that will be useful. Except I'm probably going to run out of it due to the seesaw. Huh, okay, maybe not. But every time you see those doors go down, that indicates that there's going to be, you know, a bit where the ground will slowly rise. And for once in the game, we're going to have to wait. Wait for the grounds to slowly rise up. Kind of similar to if you played Sonic Knuckles in the Egyptian stage. Again, I don't really know a lot of the zone names because I did play them, but it was a long time ago, you know, on Sonic Mega Collection Plus and all that. And I didn't really pay attention to the names, I just paid attention to the gameplay and how it played, and understood how hard games were back then on the Mega Drive and SNES. But still. So now we're going to escape out of here, and here's one thing you may want to do if you want to collect all 50 rings. I would recommend this. If you go all the way back up there by, you know, basically using a spin dash, if you use it here, and then drop down, you can fly up, and find yourself like 30 rings. So as you can see there, I now have 70, so that will make life a bit easier. And honestly, I'm glad I got the Chaos Emerald before, because that means I'll be able to do this one thing, but I'm going to show it off later because it involves the boss. And honestly, it's quite a useful tactic if you ask me. Speaking of which, how close are we to the boss? Because I think we're near the end. Ah, here's the thing that will trick you. This will basically let you know that when you go on these platforms, you have to jump off of them when they hit the wall. Otherwise, when they'll fall to the ground, you know, you'll fall with them, and you'll basically burn with them in the lava. So that's no fun. But this is what I mean. Here we are at the boss, which is Dr. Eggman. And what's the tactic? Bounce, 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 bounce. There. So if you have rings, you know, you can take a hit in the lava, but luckily you can jump back out again. And that's pretty much all I do to defeat Dr. Robotnik right there. Yes, I am still calling him Robotnik, not Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman was just... yeah, it was alright, but I always call him Robotnik, personally. As a kid, I used to call him Eggman, but that's because I didn't really know about any of these classic Sonic games and all that. But still. Mystic Cave Zone, you know earlier where I was saying it's a bit of a weird take. If you listen to the music and just look at the atmosphere with, like, purple clouds, it looks a bit weird for a Sonic game, I'd say. But still. Honestly, I didn't really have a lot of troubles on this area, because it may look a bit difficult. It's got spikes everywhere, collapsible platforms. If you just keep to it, you should make it there in good time. Basically, you know, just be wary. I would say that later on in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, don't spin dash too much, because there will be bits where you're likely to take a hit. So make sure you use it a bit wisely. But with that, we are now going to go into the next special stage. And this is where you want to make sure that Tails doesn't hit too many bombs, as he will cost you pretty much your whole life. Honestly though, for special stages, I would personally say that my favourite one has to be Sonic Advance from the Game Boy Advance, because pretty much what that involved is you was on like this surfboard, going across these areas, and you'd have to pull off various tricks while collecting rings. Sorry about that, I had a bit of an interruption there, but yeah, Sonic Advance's special stages are by far my favourite, or shall I say the special stages, because you know, they're very simple to get into, and I just love the whole aspect of being on a surfboard, going through the stage and all that. Although, you know earlier where I was saying that for the special stages you need to make sure that Tails doesn't hit too many things because you'll lose rings? You can do that sometimes, but you know, you don't have to do it all the time because Tails will sometimes crash into rings and some of them are impossible to dodge. So it doesn't really matter too much about it. But right now, what I'm doing is staying to the left because, well, with a bit of trial and error, I now have learnt that on particular sections I'll have to keep on to the left in order to make sure that I keep my rings. Also, on this bit, we're going to be a bit tricky here. We're going to go this way and then that way, so that way we can acquire the rings. And from here, what it's going to do is just keep spawning, you know, the mine ring, as I like to call it, where pretty much, you know, it's basically a ring of mines, and we basically just have to jump out of the way. What I'd suggest doing is just jumping just after you get the ring to make sure that Tails doesn't get hit. But don't do it all the time, because you might, you know, miss out on rings that are really close. So, you know, just do a bit of trial and error and you should be okay with it. But I had to acquire 200 rings and I have 239 altogether, so that definitely helps me out. So there is the 6th Chaos Emerald in the game, and now we have one more to go. But I'm going to do that in the next zone since, you know, I like to do one per zone, so that's all good. But we are now back at Mystic Zone. And honestly, I would suggest this. Through Mystic Zone, the routes you take, just keep going up, because they'll lead you to places, you know, where there's invincibility boxes and other things like that. So, you know, just keep on progressing upwards if you want to know which route to take. Sorry about that, I had a bit of an interruption there again. I've been having a lot of interruptions lately in my LPs, and it's kind of annoying. But then again, at least I can just easily pause the game, and you know, pause the recording. So I do save myself a bit of time. It's nothing bad, I guess. I should have had a bit more speed trying to get past that, but I didn't really accelerate enough. Honestly, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a good game. I do plan to do other Sonic titles, but probably in the future. Like, I'm considering to do an LP of, Sonic CD for, well, Sega CD, as it says. Because that involved a lot of time travel in the Sonic game, and honestly, I like that one a lot. So, I might be doing that at some point. As for the Mega Drive games, I don't know if I plan to do games like, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 or Sonic & Knuckles, as I'm really not too sure about that at the moment. For now, I'm just going to do Sonic 2 and see how well this goes. But I've got to say, at the moment, I'm enjoying doing this LP, because it brings me back a bit of memories, you know, playing this on my PS2 from Sonic Mega Collection back when I was a kid, and I just got into the Sega Mega Drive game. Because honestly, Sega Mega Drive was a good console. Same with SNES. Actually, they were both good consoles. But SNES takes the cake for me, definitely. Well, we got through Act 1, now we're going to go through Act 2. And you know where I was saying we want to keep upwards most of the times, just take the routes that lead to the highest areas? Do it here, as it will save you a bit of grief later. Well, it's not really going to kill you or anything, but yeah, it just makes it a bit easier collecting all the items and all that. Sorry, I've got a bit distracted there by the music. The music in this area is really good, but I still prefer Hilltop Zone because of its atmosphere and simplicity. I don't know, I'm using a lot of technical words in this episode, but still. I would say this, with taking higher routes, you can take lower routes if you want, because some of them will contain items like you saw there. I just got another invincibility box, so, you know, just try playing around, seeing which routes are the best, because I practiced a lot on this level just to see which routes were the best to take in order to take me to areas and all that. Where does this take me? Ah, it takes me up here. And I think over to our left there's going to be a lamppost, but do I want to acquire that? I will acquire it, but I'm going to jump away quickly because I do not want to enter the special stage. I could go and collect the last Chaos Emerald right now, where I'll become I'm not really going to reveal it, actually, just for those of you who don't want to spoil the surprise. And I'm just going to say something good will happen, that's all, when we collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds. It's not like in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, however, where after collecting 7 Chaos Emeralds, or it might have been 6 actually back then, pretty much all it is just another ending where it uses the Chaos Emeralds and peace is restored to the land. Yeah, that was pretty much it. That's all that happened. So it was kind of disappointing collecting all those emeralds just for an alternative ending, but still. Aside from that, or, you know, basically use Super Sonic just at the end of every level, like in the most recent Sonic games. Oh well. This boss fight, though, I would say is pretty easy if you have the blue shield. All I can suggest is that you continuously jump at him and then bounce and hop. Then afterwards, just wait for him to go down and hit him a couple more times. So on the last hit, he should be dead. As you can see, I did a lot of damage thanks to my blue shield protecting me and all that. As you can see, Tails did the final blow. That was weird. Usually Tails is supposed to be the one that spoils it and all. Wow. What a good way to end the episode. That's it for now, and I guess we'll be going onwards to the next zone, which is Oil Base Zone. See you guys then.